Hey everyone, welcome to Ride Zone Bikes. Today we will got something special, the 2026 Yamaha Tenere 700 here on Ride Zone Bikes. And this is one I've been excited to cover because the Tenere name carries serious weight in the adventure world. For decades it's represented Yamaha's commitment to building motorcycles that can actually handle a mix of pavement, dirt trails, rocky climbs, and long stretches of highway. The 2026 model keeps that spirit alive but adds some refinements, modern updates, and that rally style look that really gives it presence. So let's dive in and explore what it offers, how it performs, what makes it stand out, and of course where it sits on price. The heart of the Tenere 700 is Yamaha's proven CP2 engine, a 689cc liquid-cooled parallel twin that's become famous for being both reliable and versatile. Power is right around 72 to 74 horsepower with torque in the ballpark of 68 Nm, and the key here isn't blistering top end, it's the way the motor delivers usable pull from low and mid revs. For adventure riding you want that accessible torque to climb hills, manage off-road sections, or cruise fully loaded without stress. The 6-speed gearbox is smooth, ratios are well spaced, and Yamaha keeps it simple with a chain final drive. Nothing overcomplicated, nothing unnecessary, just a power plant that works in real conditions. Suspension is another area where Yamaha didn't cut corners. You've got a 43mm upside-down fork up front, fully adjustable, and a single shock out back with remote preload and rebound adjustment. Travel is generous, about 210mm at the front and nearly 200mm in the rear, so bumps, ruts, and trail imperfections get soaked up without drama. On the road, it remains controlled and not too floaty, which is a difficult balance to strike. Wheels are proper adventure spec, 21-inch front and 18-inch rear, shod with Pirelli Scorpion Rally STR tires that balance on-road grip with off-road bite. Braking is handled by twin 282mm discs up front, single 245mm in the rear, with switchable ABS that can be fully disabled for trail riding. This is a crucial feature because in loose gravel or sand, you want that rear wheel to lock when needed. The electronics package has evolved compared to earlier years. A new 6.3-inch vertical TFT display replaces the older LCD. It's clearer, sharper, and customizable with different layouts depending on whether you prefer a simple street-style cluster or more explorer-focused data like trip meters and fuel usage. Connectivity is baked in, so you can pair your phone for notifications or navigation prompts, though Yamaha has wisely kept the interface uncluttered so you don't lose focus. It's modern without overwhelming you with unnecessary ride modes or semi-active gadgets that can break in the middle of nowhere. Riders who want just enough tech without drowning in menus will appreciate this approach. On performance, the Tenere 700 is not about outright speed but rather composure and control. On pavement, the parallel twin hums along happily at highway speeds, with enough grunt to overtake comfortably. The tall suspension and long travel geometry give it stability, and though it's not as razor-sharp as a sport bike in corners, it never feels vague. Off-road is where it justifies its reputation. The combination of a torquey engine, compliant suspension, and narrow chassis makes it surprisingly nimble for a 200-plus kilo machine. Standing on the pegs feels natural, body positioning is easy, and you can tackle rough trails with confidence. Of course, it's still over 450 pounds wet, so in really tight technical single track you'll feel that heft. But that's true of every adventure twin in this class. What it offers is balance, the ability to handle a rocky fire road one day and a 200-mile highway ride the next without feeling out of place in either scenario. Fuel range is decent thanks to a 16-liter tank. Depending on how aggressively you ride, you're looking at 200 miles or more between stops, which for most weekend trips or even longer tours is perfectly workable. For hardcore expeditions you might want to strap on an auxiliary can, but as an everyday adventure companion it strikes a good compromise between capacity and weight. Design is another big talking point. The 2026 update continues the rally-inspired theme that really makes the bike stand out. The front end sports a distinctive quad-LED headlight cluster that looks like it came straight off a Dakar machine. Side panels are sharper, the seat is flatter for easier rider movement, and the tail section is slim but functional. Handguards are standard, the windshield provides decent coverage without blocking your view, and the overall ergonomics lean toward upright comfort. The seat height is about 34.4 inches, which will challenge shorter riders, but that high perch gives commanding visibility and the clearance you need for off-road work. The build quality is rugged, everything feels solid, and Yamaha's reputation for durability is on full display. On price, Yamaha positions the 10-year 700 smartly. The US MSRP sits at $10,999 before fees. That's competitive when you consider the alternatives in the adventure market, some of which can run thousands more with features you may not even want or need. Yamaha gives you a durable core package and leaves it to you to decide how far you want to go with luggage systems, crash bars, or aftermarket mods. For riders who want value without compromising capability, it's a strong proposition. The unique selling points are clear. First is the simplicity. It doesn't overload you with electronics, which means fewer things to go wrong when you're far from a workshop. Second is balance. It's not a road bike pretending to be an off-roader or vice versa. It's a true 50-50 adventure platform. Third is heritage. The 10-year name carries Dakar credibility, and this bike looks and feels like it belongs in that lineage. Fourth is Yamaha's global support network and aftermarket ecosystem. You can find accessories, spares, and advice almost anywhere, which is invaluable if you're serious about adventure riding. Are there downsides? Sure. The weight, while manageable, will be felt if you drop it on a trail. The tall seat is intimidating for shorter riders. The fuel tank is not the largest, though efficiency helps offset that. And if you're after cruise control, heated grips, or semi-active suspension, you won't find them here without aftermarket solutions. But for many, these trade-offs are the very things that make the bike appealing. It stays true to a rugged, reliable ethos without adding unnecessary complications. So in conclusion, the 2026 Yamaha 10-year 700 continues to deliver what adventure riders crave: a tough, reliable machine that thrives on variety. It's equally happy carving through twisty roads as it is climbing a rutted fire trail, and it does so with a style and spirit that feels authentic. At around 11 grand, it's one of the best value propositions in the mid-size adventure class, and for riders who want to explore without worrying about overly complex tech, it's a bike that deserves serious consideration. If you're looking for a machine that will take you from the city to the mountains and back again, all while looking like a rally contender, the 10-year 700 should be at the top of your list.